Clara, do you mind wishing me luck? I asked, adjusting the knot of my tie in the mirror. My voice cracked slightly, and I hated how small it sounded. She didn't even look up from her phone. Her thumb kept scrolling as if the glowing screen mattered more than the man about to face the biggest interview of his life. Luck? She finally said, her lips curling into a smirk. Luck won't fix you. I froze. What does that even mean? She let out a snort, tossing her phone on the couch. It means you overthink, you panic, and you talk too much. Luck won't change who you are. My chest tightened. So you think I'm going to fail? She shrugged, walking into the kitchen. I think you put too much hope in things you'll never be able to pull off. This job? It's out of your league. Her words cut deep, sharper than any knife. I forced myself to breathe, to not let her see how badly it hurt. You've never even heard me practice. You don't know what I'm capable of. I know you, she said flatly, pouring herself a glass of water, and you don't handle pressure well. Don't act like this is the first time. My throat burned. Clara, I've worked for this moment for months. Every late night, every application, every mock interview, all I wanted was for you to believe in me. To just say, you can do this. That's it. Her eyes flicked to mine, cold and detached. I don't lie. If you want sweet lies, find someone else. I'd rather be honest than feed your fantasies. Honest? My voice cracked louder now. Calling me a failure right before I walk into the most important room of my life is honesty to you? Yes, she said without blinking. I wanted to scream, but instead I laughed bitterly. You know what hurts the most? I stood by you every time you doubted yourself. When you thought you'd fail your exams, I stayed up all night quizzing you. When you wanted to quit your job, I held you together. And now, when I need you, you can't even say 2 words. Good luck. She slammed her glass down on the counter. Stop making me the villain. If you're strong enough, you won't need my words. If 2 syllables from me decide whether you pass or fail, then you don't deserve the job anyway. Her words echoed in my skull. I clenched my fists, my nails digging into my palms. Maybe you're right. Maybe I don't need your words. But one day, Clara, you'll realize words can either break someone or build them. And you'll regret the ones you just chose. She rolled her eyes. You're so dramatic. Just go already. Don't make me late for my plans. Plans? She didn't even care where I was headed or what I was facing. She just wanted me gone. I picked up my briefcase with trembling hands. The silence between us felt heavier than any burden I had ever carried. At the door, I paused. Clara, I whispered, all I wanted was for you to stand with me. Just once. She didn't answer. She just turned her back, scrolling through her phone again, as if I didn't exist. I swallowed hard, stepped outside, and closed the door quietly behind me. The cold morning air hit me like a slap. My breath trembled in the crisp wind. I walked down the street, each step echoing her words. Luck won't fix you. Out of your league. Failure. Inside, my chest screamed. My heart begged me to run back, to demand comfort, to ask why she hated me so much. But my pride refused. Instead, I whispered to myself, I'll prove her wrong, even if it kills me. The bus ride felt endless. People chatted around me, but their voices blurred into static. All I could hear was Clara's mocking laugh. I replayed the moment again and again. Did she really believe I was hopeless? Or was she just cruel? The woman I loved, the woman I thought was my anchor, had chosen to sink me instead. I gripped the handle of my briefcase so tightly my knuckles whitened. No, I muttered in my breath, earning a curious glance from an old man beside me. She doesn't decide who I am. She doesn't get to write my story. The man gave me a small smile. Big day? He asked, gently. Yes, the biggest. Well, he said, leaning back, Sometimes the best revenge is proving people wrong. I nodded slowly. His words pierced deeper than he knew. Revenge, proving her wrong. Maybe that was the fire I needed. By the time the bus screeched to my stop, my fear had hardened into something else. Resolve. I stepped onto the pavement, staring up at the glass building where my future waited. My stomach twisted, my hands shook, but my voice inside grew stronger. She laughed when I asked for luck, I murmured. But I don't need her luck. I'll make my own. And with that, I walked inside. When the elevator doors closed behind me, I caught my reflection in the steel. My tie was straight, my shirt pressed, but my eyes looked hollow. I whispered to myself, "How did we even get here?" Her voice echoed again. In my head, "Luck won't fix you." I closed my eyes and memories rushed back. "I believe in you," Clara had said 2 years ago, holding my hand as we walked along the river. Her smile was warm then, real. "One day, you'll get the job you dream of, and I'll be there cheering the loudest." "Promise?" I asked, grinning like a fool. "Promise," she whispered, pressing her lips against my cheek. That was Clara, the Clara I thought I knew. But the Clara in our apartment this morning, she felt like a stranger. The elevator dinged. I stepped out, trying to bury the ache. Yet my mind wouldn't stop. I remembered another night. She'd been crying over her failed exams. "I'm useless," she sobbed, throwing her notes across the bed. "You're not," I told her, gathering the pages. "You're brilliant. You just need rest. I'll quiz you again tomorrow. You'll get through this." Her eyes softened. "Why do you always believe in me when I don't?" "Because that's what love means," I said. And I meant it. "Hey," a voice jolted me. It was Lila, Clara's best friend. She spotted me in the lobby. "You look sharp," she said, adjusting her purse strap. "Interview today," trying not to mess it up. She raised an eyebrow. "Clara didn't come with you?" I forced a smile. "No, she's busy." Lila tilted her head. "Busy or avoiding?" I blinked. "What do you mean?" She bit her lip. "Forget it. I shouldn't say anything." "No, tell me," I pressed. "You know something, don't you?" Her eyes darted away. "I don't. She's just been different lately. You've noticed, haven't you?" I let out a hollow laugh. "Different? That's one word for it." She sighed. "I shouldn't interfere. She's my friend. But sometimes I wonder if she's even trying with you anymore." The words stung, even though they only confirmed my own fears. "Do you think she ever loved me?" I asked quietly. She looked at me with pity. "She did, at least once. But people change. Maybe she's—" She stopped herself. "Maybe she's what?" She shook her head. "Not my place." My chest tightened. "Lila, if you know something—" "I don't," she cut me off quickly. "Not for sure. Just be careful, okay?" Her voice trailed with warning, and it chilled me. Later that night, I sat across from Clara at the dinner table. She picked at her food, scrolling on her phone. "You didn't even ask how my interview went." She didn't look up. "I assumed you'd tell me if it mattered." "It matters to me," I snapped. "Fine," she said flatly. "How did it go?" "It went well," I said, watching for any sign of pride, excitement, anything. Instead, she shrugged. "Good for you." I clenched my jaw. "That's all you have to say?" She set her fork down with a sigh. "What do you want? Applause? Confetti? I'm tired. Can we not do this right now?" I stared at her, my voice trembling. "Do you even love me anymore?" She looked up, cold as stone. Why are you asking me that? Because I don't feel it, I whispered. Not in your words, not in your eyes, not in the way you look at me. She crossed her arms. You're being dramatic again. No, I said firmly. I'm being honest. There's a difference. The silence stretched, heavy and suffocating. Finally, she muttered, maybe love changes. Maybe it doesn't stay the same forever. The crack in her voice should have softened me, but instead it broke something inside me. I pushed back my chair. Then maybe you should have told me before I kept sacrificing for a future you don't even want anymore. Her face hardened. Don't twist this into me being the bad guy. Then tell me, Clara.
Motivation, I whispered. Who are you now? Because you're not the woman I fell in love with. She looked away, and for the first time I saw it clearly. The coldness wasn't new. It had been creeping in for months. I'd just been too blind to admit it. That night, lying awake, her words replayed in my head. Love changes. Maybe it doesn't stay the same forever. But then I remembered Lila's warning. Be careful. Careful of what? Of Clara's indifference or of a secret I hadn't uncovered yet? Either way, I knew one thing for certain. The glass I thought was perfect in our love had cracked, and cracks never healed the same way again. The receptionist called my name, and my palms went cold. I forced myself to stand tall, but Clara's voice clawed at me. Luck won't fix you. I muttered under my breath, I'll prove you wrong. Inside the interview room, 3 panelists sat across the table. One of them smiled politely. Relax, just tell us about yourself. My throat tightened. I thought of Clara's smirk this morning, then clenched my fists under the table. I'm someone who doesn't give up. Even when people doubt me, I keep moving. The panel exchanged glances. The older man leaned forward. Give us an example. I smiled bitterly. I've been doubted more times than I can count, but instead of breaking, I've used it as fuel. Every failure I faced made me sharper. Their nods told me I was hitting the right note. For the first time in weeks, I felt alive, powerful. When it ended, one of them shook my hand. We'll be in touch soon. Very impressive. As I walked out, my chest swelled, not with pride, but with defiance. Clara was wrong. I reached home later, rehearsing how I'd tell her. Maybe she'd smile. Maybe she'd say, I knew you could do it. But the apartment was too quiet. Clara? I called, dropping my bag. No reply. Her shoes were missing from the doorway, her coat gone. A knot formed in my stomach. I grabbed my phone and dialed her. It rang once, then, this number is switched off. No. My voice cracked. I sank on the bed, staring at the hollow space where her clothes used to hang. An hour later, I called Daniel. He picked up quickly. How'd it go, the interview? It went great. That doesn't sound like great. Because when I came home, Clara was gone. Gone? What do you mean, gone? Her stuff, her shoes, her clothes, even her toothbrush. She turned off her phone. She just disappeared. Daniel cursed under his breath. Man, I knew something was off with her. I rubbed my temples. What did I do wrong? Don't do that, he snapped. This isn't about you failing. If she left like that, it's about her. She was cold for months, I whispered. But I thought it was stress, or maybe me not being enough. Stop, Daniel said firmly. You've bent over backwards for her. If she walked out, it's because she didn't value you. That's not on you. His words should have comforted me, but instead, They cut deeper. Then why do I still feel like I wasn't enough? Daniel sighed. Because you loved her, and love makes us blind. But listen, if she could leave without a word, she's not the one losing here. You are. I let out a broken laugh. Doesn't feel that way, right now. Later that night, Daniel came over. He stood in the doorway of the bedroom, looking at the half-empty closet. She really cleared out, he muttered. Yeah, I whispered. Like I was just disposable. He sat beside me. Did she leave a note? Anything? I shook my head. Nothing, just silence. Daniel clenched his jaw. That's cold, even for her. I keep asking myself why. Did she find someone else? Was she planning this for months? Was this her way of punishing me? Or maybe she didn't have the guts to tell me face to face. Some people run when things get real. I buried my face in my hands. She promised me forever, Daniel. And now, she's just gone. The apartment felt like a graveyard of memories. The mug she left by the sink, the faint trace of her perfume on the couch. Daniel's voice was softer now. You need to breathe, eat something, sleep. Don't let her take more from you than she already has. I looked at him, my voice raw. What if she comes back? He looked at me. Then you'll decide if you even want her back. Right now, she doesn't deserve you. His words lingered, heavy and unreal. But when the lights went out and Daniel left, the silence pressed down harder than ever. I stared at the empty side of the bed, wondering how someone I trusted most could vanish without a word. And for the first time, I didn't just feel abandoned. I felt betrayed.
My phone buzzed late at night, an unknown number. The message read, "Stop looking for Clara. She's with Victor now." I stared at the screen, my chest tightening. I dialed back, but it went straight to voicemail. I called Daniel immediately. Someone just texted me. What did it say? That Clara's with someone named Victor. Victor, Daniel repeated. Do you know him? No, I whispered. But whoever he is, he knows enough to tell me to stop looking. Daniel cursed. Send me the number, I'll check it out. I forwarded it, then sank into the couch, trembling. The next day, at a cafe near my office, I overheard two women whispering behind me. Did you see Clara last night? One asked. With Victor? Yeah. He's rich, arrogant, always flashing money, and she looked so proud next to him. The other woman laughed. Poor guy she dumped. Bet he never saw it coming. Their words sliced through me. My coffee turned bitter in my mouth. I turned, trying to keep my voice steady. Excuse me. Did you say Clara? They looked at each other, startled. One frowned. Do we know you? I said quietly. She was my fiancée. Their expressions shifted from gossip to pity. The first one murmured, I'm sorry, we didn't mean. I asked sharply, where did you see them? The second whispered, at the Rose Lounge. He took her out last night. Big scene, expensive champagne. I nodded stiffly and walked out, every step heavier than the last. That evening, I told Daniel everything. She's flaunting him, I said bitterly, not even hiding it. Daniel slammed his fist on the table. She moved on before she left you. That's the only way it makes sense. I muttered. She promised me forever, and now she's on someone else's arm. Did she laugh at me every time I believed her? Daniel shook his head. She used you. Now she thinks she upgraded. The word upgraded echoed in my skull. 2 nights later, I saw her. I had gone to the Rose Lounge myself, needing proof, and there she was, Clara, in a red dress I had bought her, leaning against a tall man with slicked back hair. He had his arm draped around her like she was a trophy. I froze.
My heart pounded so hard I thought it would break through my chest. I walked closer. "Clara?" She turned, her eyes widening slightly, then narrowing with disdain. "You shouldn't be here." "Who's this?" I demanded, glaring at him. He smirked. "Victor. And you are?" My voice cracked. "I was her fiancé." He chuckled. "Was." Clara tugged his sleeve. "Let's not waste time, Victor. He'll never understand." I stepped forward, my fists trembling. "Understand what? That you lied to me? That you strung me along while you planned this?" Clara's lips curled into a mocking smile. "Don't be dramatic. We both know you were never enough." The words hit harder than any punch. I whispered, "Everything we built, everything I sacrificed, was it all a lie?" She tilted her head. "It was convenient, until it wasn't." Victor grinned. "You should be grateful. She outgrew you. It happens." "Outgrew me?" I repeated, my voice rising. "I was the one holding her together when she had nothing, and now she's parading around with you?" Clara's eyes gleamed with cruelty. "Victor gives me what you can't. Power, status, real ambition, not your small dreams and desperate interviews." My fists clenched so tight my nails dug into my palms. "I loved you." "And that," she sneered, "was your biggest mistake, thinking love was enough." Victor chuckled again. "This is embarrassing for you, friend. Walk away." I turned to Clara, my voice breaking. "Did you ever love me?" Her silence lasted too long. Finally she said flatly, "I loved what you gave me, the comfort, the stability. But you? No, not really." The world spun. My chest hollowed. Back outside, Daniel called me as if he knew. "You saw her, didn't you?" "Yes," I whispered. "With him. What happened?" I said. She looked me in the eye and told me I was never enough. Daniel was quiet for a moment, then said, "That's crueler than leaving. That's destroying you on purpose." I sank onto the curb, staring at the neon lights. I closed my eyes and heard Clara's voice echo again. "You'll never be enough." Those words carved themselves into me, branding me with betrayal. And yet, deep inside the wound, something stirred. Not just grief, but rage. If she thought I was nothing, I'd show her what nothing looked like.
The nights blurred into one another. Sleep slipped through my fingers, leaving me staring at the ceiling, with her words drilling into my head. "You'll never be enough." When Daniel called, I didn't even look at the screen before answering. "You sound wrecked," he said. "I am wrecked," I muttered. "I don't eat, I don't sleep. Every second I see her face laughing at me." "You've got to stop replaying it." "How?" My voice cracked. "She threw away years of my life like it meant nothing, and I keep asking what I did wrong." "You didn't do anything wrong. She did." I sighed. Maybe she saw what I didn't. Maybe I really wasn't enough. "Don't you dare," he snapped. "That's her poison talking." 2 days later, Daniel showed up at my apartment with his girlfriend, Mia. She looked around at the mess, clothes on the floor, dishes piled high, and said gently, "You're drowning in here." I sank onto the couch. "I'm drowning everywhere." Daniel sat across from me. "We're not letting you rot. Talk." "What do you want me to say? That I can't hear her voice? That when I close my eyes I see her walking away with him?" Mia sat beside me. "Say what you feel. It's eating you alive." I hesitated. "I feel like maybe I was just a stepping stone. She needed me until something shinier came along. And now I'm left broken while she shines." "That's not you talking," Mia said firmly. "That's betrayal talking. It warps the truth. She didn't leave because you weren't enough. She left because she's empty." Daniel leaned forward. "You're letting her define you. Don't." "I don't know how not to. Every memory feels fake now. Every I love you feels like a lie she rehearsed." That night, I confessed more than I meant to. "I keep blaming myself," I whispered. "If I'd worked harder, made more money, looked better, would she have stayed?" Daniel slammed his hand on the table. "Stop! You could have been a billionaire, and she still would have chased the next thing, because people like her always want more." Mia nodded. "It's not about you being lacking, it's about her being greedy." I buried my face in my hands. "Then why does it still hurt like it's my fault?" "Because you loved her," Mia said softly, "and love makes us believe the best, even when the worst is staring us in the face." Days bled together, each one heavier than the last. My chest tightened when I passed places we used to go, when I smelled your perfume on an old shirt, when I caught myself reaching for my phone to text her. Daniel dragged me out one evening. "You can't keep hiding. Walk, breathe, yell if you have to, but don't stay trapped in that apartment." As we walked, I muttered, "Everything feels hollow. I feel hollow. That's grief. But grief is proof you cared. Don't confuse it with weakness." I stopped in the middle of the sidewalk. "But what if I can't climb out of this? What if she broke me for good?" Mia, walking behind us, spoke up. "Then you let the people who care about you remind you that you're still standing. Broken isn't the same as gone." Later that night, I snapped. I smashed a glass against the sink, shards flying. "I hate her. I hate what she turned me into. I hate that she still has this much power over me." Daniel grabbed my shoulders. "Then take it back." "How?" I shouted. "How do I erase her voice in my head?" "You don't erase it, you outgrow it. You get stronger, louder, until her voice drowns in yours." Mia carefully picked up the shards. "Pain is heavy, but you can choose what to build with it, either chains or armor." Their words sank into me, though the rage still burned. When they left, I sat in silence. The apartment was still messy, still suffocating, but Mia's voice lingered. Chains or armor? I whispered into the empty room, "I don't want chains anymore." For the first time since she left, I realized I had a choice. I could let Clara's betrayal keep breaking me apart.
The phone rang while I was staring at the ceiling. My heart jumped, and I grabbed it. "Hello?" I said, my voice uneven. "Is this Michael?" a firm voice asked. Yes, this is me. This is Mr. Harris from the firm. I'm pleased to inform you, you got the job." For a moment, silence filled the room. My throat tightened. I got it?" "You did. Report Monday morning, sharp. Welcome aboard." "Thank you, sir. Thank you so much," I said, almost choking. After the call, I sat still, my phone pressed against my chest. Tears came, real ones, but not from pain this time. Daniel burst in a few minutes later. "What happened? You look like you saw a ghost." I got the job," I whispered. He stared, then shouted, "You what? You actually did it!" "I did it," I repeated, almost in disbelief. Daniel hugged me tight. "Finally, man! Finally some good news!" For the first time in months, I laughed. Maybe I'm not as useless as she said. "You never were. She just made you believe that." I nodded, but Clara's voice still echoed in my head. "Luck won't fix you." Monday came fast. The office smelled of fresh coffee and polished wood. Mr. Harris greeted me at the door. "Michael, glad you're here," he said, shaking my hand firmly. "You've got potential. Don't waste it." "I won't," I promised.
He studied me for a moment. "I can tell you've been through something. Use it. Pain sharpens a man." Those words settled deep inside me. Weeks passed. I worked hard, staying late, learning, pushing myself. Slowly, I began to feel alive again. One night, Daniel showed me his phone. "You've seen this?" "What?" He handed it to me. It was Clara and Victor at some party. Victor's face red with anger, Clara's fake smile plastered on the post. Comments filled the post. "Victor lost it again! Poor Clara! What did she get herself into?" I stared at the screen. So it's true. He's not her happy ending. Daniel shrugged. "You said it yourself. Gold doesn't always shine. Sometimes it's just polished trash." I smirked faintly. Karma's fast. A week later, Clara called. I froze when her name lit up my phone. I answered slowly. "Clara?" Her tone was strangely sweet. "Michael, hey, long time. What do you want?" "Wow, no hello? No, I missed you?" she teased. "Cut the games." She sighed. "Fine, I just wanted to check in. Heard you got a job. Good for you." "Thanks." Her voice softened, but there was an edge. "You know, Victor isn't exactly what I thought. He's complicated." "Complicated," I repeated. "You wouldn't understand." "I understand enough," I said coldly. She laughed lightly, but it cracked. "You're different now. I can hear it in your voice. Not the weak boy who begged for my blessing." "That boy died the day you laughed at him." Her silence stretched. Then she muttered, "Don't be dramatic." "I'm not. I'm just telling you, I don't need your words anymore." She tone sharpened. "Don't think just because you got a job you're suddenly better than me." "I don't need to be better than you, Clara. I just need to be better than the man I was." She scoffed. "You'll always be the same deep down." "Maybe I will, but at least I won't end up trapped with someone like Victor." The line went quiet. Then she hissed, "You'll regret talking to me like this." "No, Clara," I whispered. "I regret wasting years thinking you loved me." I ended the call before she could reply. That night, Daniel and his girlfriend Emma joined me for dinner. "You look lighter," Emma said. "I feel lighter," I admitted. "She called me today." Daniel frowned. "What did she want?" "Validation, attention, maybe an escape hatch from Victor, but I didn't give her any of it." Emma smiled softly. "Good. That's growth, Michael. Silent revenge is the best kind, living well." I nodded. "For the first time, I think you're right." At work the next day, Mr. Harris stopped by my desk. "You've got grit, Michael. Keep it up and you'll climb fast." "Thank you, sir." He tilted his head. "You look like a man who finally knows his worth." Maybe I did. For the first time in years, I wasn't looking for Clara's approval. I wasn't drowning in betrayal. I was building something of my own. As I packed up my bag that evening, Clara's words echoed in my memory again. "Luck won't fix you." She was right. Luck didn't fix me. I fixed myself.
Motivation. Daniel slid a newspaper across the cafe table. "You've seen this, right?" I frowned. "No. What is it?" "Victor," he said, tapping the headline. "Caught arguing outside a nightclub. Some model, not Clara." I skimmed the article, my chest tightening, not from pain, but from a grim satisfaction. "So it begins." Daniel raised an eyebrow. "You're enjoying this?" "I'm not celebrating," I said carefully. "I'm observing. He built his throne on arrogance. Now it's sinking." That evening, my phone buzzed. Clara. Again. Against reason, I picked up. Her voice was sharp. "Are you happy? Do you enjoy seeing me humiliated?" I leaned back. "Why would I be happy? You chose him." "You don't understand," she snapped. "He's different now. Possessive, controlling. I can't breathe around him." I let silence stretch. "Say something," she demanded. Finally, I answered. When I begged for encouragement, you laughed. When I needed you, you left. And now you expect sympathy? She admitted I made mistakes, but maybe you could help me. Help you? I repeated, like you helped me before my interview? Her sigh crackled through the line. Don't twist it. You know I cared once. Once. But caring doesn't vanish overnight. It rots slowly. Yours died long before Victor. She cursed softly under her breath. You're cruel. No, I'm honest. The following week, office whispers swirled about Sterling's newest client, a business partner Victor had crossed. Mr. Grant pulled me aside. Your old acquaintance Victor is making enemies, he remarked dryly. Enemies? I asked. Grant smirked. A man named Adrian, wealthy, sharp, vindictive. Word is, Victor tried to steal Adrian's girlfriend. Dangerous move. I stiffened. Adrian? Yes, Victor's rival now. Let the sharks eat each other, Grant advised. Later, Daniel filled in the missing pieces. That fling in the tabloids? Adrian's girl. Victor couldn't keep his ego in check. And Clara? I asked. She's in the crossfire. People say she's miserable, but she still defends him in public. I almost laughed. Defends the man who humiliates her. That sounds familiar. 2 nights later, Clara called again. Her tone was brittle. He screamed at me tonight, said I embarrassed him by asking questions. I don't even know who he is anymore. I remained calm. He's the man you chose over me. That's who. Her breath hitched. Don't you feel anything? Nothing at all? I feel clarity, I told her. For years, I thought I wasn't enough. Now I see it was never me, it was you. She tried a softer approach. Maybe we could start over, you and I. Forget Victor. I almost laughed. You think I'd step back into that fire after finally crawling out? You've changed, she whispered. Yes, and to someone who doesn't need your approval. The silence that followed was heavier than her words. When I hung up, I felt no regret, just peace. Over the next weeks, Clara's life unraveled publicly. More headlines, Victor and another scandal, photos with yet another woman, Adrian circling, waiting to strike. Daniel showed me his phone one afternoon. Look, Victor's investors are pulling out. Adrian's behind it. Karma, I murmured. Daniel chuckled. And you didn't have to lift a finger. Exactly. For once, I get to watch without bleeding. That night, Clara texted me. He betrayed me. You were right. I stared at the message, but didn't reply. Minutes later, another text followed. Please, just talk to me. I typed slowly. No, talk to Victor. Her final message lingered. You'll regret shutting me out. I set the phone down, smiling faintly. Not this time, I whispered. The satisfaction wasn't vengeful. It was steady, quiet. Watching her world crack, without my help, was the purest closure. For the first time, I wasn't the broken one. I was free. I opened the door to find Clara standing there. Her eyes were swollen, her hair undone, nothing like the flawless figure she always presented. She whispered, "Can we talk?" I stepped aside without a word. She entered slowly, glancing around as if searching for traces of the life she once owned. "Everything's falling apart," she said. I stayed quiet. She sat down, clutching her hands together. "Victor isn't who I thought. He yells, cheats, drinks. I should have listened to you." I leaned against a wall. Still, I said nothing. Her voice cracked. "You don't understand. I thought I was choosing stability, power. But it's poison. He treats me like I'm disposable." I met her eyes briefly, then looked away. She shifted forward. "I miss what we had, the way you believed in me, the way you loved me." I let silence answer.
Tears slid down her face. "Why aren't you saying anything? Don't you feel anything for me?" Finally, I spoke. "I used to. Not anymore." Her breath hitched. "You're lying." I shook my head slowly. She stood abruptly. "So that's it. After everything we shared, after all the years, you just shut me out." "Yes," I said evenly. She laughed bitterly. "You think silence is strength. It's cruelty." "No," I replied. "It's peace." She paced, her voice desperate. "I ruined us. I know. But I'm not asking for forever, just a chance. Can't you give me that?" I stared at her trembling hands, the same hands that once pushed me aside. "No." Her face collapsed. "You'd really rather watch me break than forgive me." "I don't want revenge," I said softly. "I want distance." She dropped into the chair again, whispering, "I made a mistake. The biggest mistake of my life." I didn't answer. "Say something," she pleaded. "Yell at me, hate me, anything but this silence." I breathed slowly, steady. "Silence is all I have left for you." She shook her head violently. "I can't live with this guilt. I can't stand knowing you won't even fight with me." "That's your burden, not mine." For a long moment, the only sound was her sobbing. She finally whispered, "I should have stayed. You were enough. You always were." My chest tightened, but I kept my face cold. "Now I'm enough for myself." Her sobs grew heavier. "So, this is goodbye?" I nodded once. She reached out as if to touch me, then pulled back. "I don't deserve forgiveness, do I?" "No," I said quietly, "and I'm done offering it." Her lips quivered. "Then I've lost everything." I didn't correct her. She stood, wiping her tears, trembling. At the door, she looked back. "You'll regret this." I met her gaze one final time. "No, I won't." She left. The silence that followed wasn't empty. It was victory. Calm, steady, final. For once, I didn't chase. I didn't beg. I simply let her go.
Daniel called me one evening. His voice was low. "You've heard about Clara?" I sighed. "No. What now?" "She's broke. Victor's gone. Took her money, her pride, everything." I leaned back in my chair. So he finally showed his true face. Daniel exhaled. "She's been calling around. People are avoiding her. Word is she begged him to stay, and he laughed." I closed my eyes. Cruel, but fitting. Later that week, Clara appeared at my door again, thinner, exhausted. "He left me," she whispered. I studied her silently. Her voice cracked. "He drained my accounts, lied to me. I thought I mattered. Turns out I was just another conquest." I asked quietly, "Do you remember what you said to me? Luck won't fix you? You'll never be enough?" She flinched. "I was wrong." "No," I said. "You were honest. Just not about me. About yourself." Tears streamed down her face. "I don't have anyone left. I can't sleep. I can't think. I thought I'd built a future. Now it's ashes." I kept my tone steady. "That's karma. You chose arrogance. You chose betrayal. The universe only returned the weight you handed out." She shook her head violently.
Don't say that. Don't talk to me like I deserved this. I leaned forward. Didn't you? You mocked me while chasing him. You dismissed my love as weakness. Now you're tasting the cruelty you once served. She collapsed into the chair, sobbing. I hate him. I hate myself more. I should have stayed with you. I didn't answer immediately. My silence stretched until she looked up, desperate for something, pity, warmth, anything. Finally, I said, Clara, I don't hate you. I don't even care enough to hate you anymore. Her lip trembled. So that's it? You're just letting me drown? You built the storm. I'm not your lifeboat. She cried harder. I don't want your money. I don't want pity. I just wanted to hear you say I wasn't a fool. I shook my head. But you were, and so was I once. She glared through her tears. You think this makes you better than me? No, I replied calmly. It makes me free. The words cut her more than shouting could have. She whispered, I thought karma was a myth. Now it's chewing me alive. I looked at her hollow face, once proud, now shattered. Karma doesn't forget. It waits. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. She finally asked, Is there truly no way back? There's no back, only forward, but not together. Her hand shook as she stood. I'll regret this forever. I nodded once. That's your sentence. Mine ended the day you left. At the door she turned, voice barely audible. I don't recognize myself anymore. I whispered, That's because the mask is gone. She left without another word. The silence that followed wasn't painful. It was clarity. I didn't gloat. I didn't celebrate. I simply breathed, realizing the universe had balanced the scales without my help. Karma had spoken, and for the first time in years, I felt light.
Daniel raised his glass. To survival, he said. I clinked mine against his. To growth, I replied. He smirked. You know, if someone told me a year ago you'd be sitting here like this, calm, confident, with a steady job and a clear head, I'd have laughed. I smiled faintly. So would I. Back then I was a mess. I thought my world ended when she walked away. Daniel leaned forward. It didn't end. It began. I nodded. Pain has a way of tricking you into thinking you're finished, but it's just the universe tearing off the old skin. His girlfriend, seated beside him, spoke gently. And now you've grown new skin, stronger, brighter, the kind that can take fire without burning. I chuckled. You make me sound mythical. She shook her head. Not mythical, human. Just finally free. I looked at the city lights through the window. Free. That's the word I keep coming back to. Daniel studied me. Does she still call? Not anymore. The last time I gave her nothing but silence. She realized I was gone. Good, he muttered. She doesn't deserve your voice. I took a slow sip of my drink. Funny thing is, I don't feel anger anymore. Not even bitterness. She's like smoke. She was heavy once, choking me. Now she's just air, dispersed. His girlfriend tilted her head. You're not carrying her shadow anymore. Exactly, I said. She's fading while my life is sharpening. Daniel asked, And your job? How's the new project? I laughed softly. Intense, demanding, but my boss sees something in me. He says I've got potential. For once, I believe it. Daniel raised an eyebrow. So you've got a mentor now, huh? Yeah, I said. He pushes me harder than anyone, but it feels good. Like I'm finally being measured by what I can do, not by what I failed to be. Her girlfriend smiled warmly.
That's because you're standing on your own, not begging someone else to hold you up." Her words lingered. I whispered, "I begged once. I begged her to believe in me, to see me," and she laughed. Daniel clenched his jaw. "Don't go back there." "I'm not," I assured him. "I just remember. The humiliation, the desperation. I thought I was worthless, but now I see it differently. That laugh was the spark. It burned me down, yes, but it forced me to rise." Daniel leaned back. "So what now?" "Now," I said slowly, "I live, I build, I move forward." He smirked. "And love? You ready for that again?" I chuckled. "Maybe someday, but not yet. Right now I'm dating my own peace." His girlfriend clapped softly. "That's the healthiest thing I've ever heard." We sat in silence for a moment, the city humming around us. My mind drifted back, not with longing, but with clarity. I whispered to myself, "I'm not the man who once begged for luck before an interview. That boy is gone." Daniel nodded, "and good riddance. I'm stronger now, sharper. Scarred, yes, but the scars remind me I survived." Her girlfriend leaned in. "Scars aren't ugly, they're proof." I smiled at her. "Proof that I lived through the fire, proof that betrayal didn't finish me, proof that love, twisted as it was, couldn't break me forever." Daniel lifted his glass again. "To proof. To proof," I echoed. The night deepened, and when I finally walked home, I felt no weight pressing me, just a quiet certainty. I looked up at the sky. The stars were faint, hidden by city lights, but I didn't need to see them. I carried my own light now. I whispered to myself, "Clara belongs to yesterday. I belong to tomorrow." And with that, I stepped into the next chapter of my life, not with fear, not with anger, but with a steady heart. She laughed when I asked for luck, but in the end, I didn't need it.